Hey, this is Nato, fully automated. In today's video, what I want to do is I want to talk about why it's so important to own your leads versus what I call renting your leads, right? What I call about renting your leads is basically just buying leads from lead vendors because you don't own them. They're shared with other agents. You don't own the data. And in this video, I'm going to show you why it's crucial that you do anything possible to start generating your own leads or getting someone to help you generate your leads. Now, one of the obvious reasons is if you guys don't know, I had an insurance agency and I exited for 7 figures. And the way I did it was I bought leads myself. And when I started my agency, I made it a mission that I'm going to generate my own leads because I was getting tired of getting leads where they were shared. I was getting leads where they didn't even ask for insurance. They asked, the lead had told me that they signed up for a gift card. So I was just tired of it. And I didn't have that much money to be spending on leads. I had to be very efficient when I first started my agency. So let's talk about some of the reasons why. And some of these are obvious. Like, for example, shared versus not shared. When you buy a lead, I don't care if they tell you it's not shared. Even the ones that they tell you are not shared and they're only going to you, if you don't sell them within a certain period of time, they're going to resell those leads to someone else. So, and the ones where they do tell you that they're shared, a lot of times what they'll tell you is we're only going to send this lead to one farmer's agent, one state farm agent, one all-state agent, and then one independent or whatever. What we're finding out, because the past year I've talked to thousands of insurance agents. What I found out was that that's not the case anymore. They're even sharing it within the same company. So, being shared versus not shared is a big deal because let's just say same lead, right? You get the same lead where 4 people are calling them versus you're the only one that they're calling them. Obviously, you're going to close at a higher rate on those leads that nobody else is calling them. So that alone right there should be a reason why you should generate your own leads because then you know for sure that nobody is calling those leads. So that's number one. It's the obvious one, but it's the biggest one, right? If you don't have any competition, you're obviously going to close at a higher rate. The second one is knowing where the lead came from, meaning where did they source that lead from? When you buy a lead, 95% of the time, they don't tell you where that lead came from. It could be from YouTube, it could be from Google, it could be from Facebook, it could be from TikTok, it could be from what they call native ads. You don't know where that lead came from. Versus when you're generating your own leads, you obviously know exactly where that lead came from and exactly what the ad said when they clicked on it. For example, like let's just say that someone signed up for a gift card. You'll never know. Versus if you generate your own leads, you know exactly the type of lead that you are going for, and that's one of the big things is you don't know exactly where they're sourcing those leads from. Target areas, targeting certain areas, right? When you guys know your own data, you know some of the areas that you're the most competitive in. So when you are generating your own leads, you can literally target certain areas. I have a guy I've been working with for 8 years. We know the exact zip codes in the exact areas that he's the most competitive in, meaning that he has the highest premiums and the highest conversions. So we obviously will just target those areas because we know that he's the most competitive in that area. Another thing is when you generate your own leads, you can literally target the exact person that you're wanting. For example, I work with a lot of captive agents and they cannot sell to everyone. The market's this big, and they can only sell to this many people. So we have to really target the exact type of client that they're looking for. Versus if you're buying a lead, they're just running like a broad campaign, and you're getting leads from all kinds. For example, let me just give you an example, and I'll play a video here in a minute. If you're looking for someone that's never had a claim, that's replaced their roof within 10 years, and obviously they're a homeowner, and you know you're competitive with that type of audience, and you know if you get that person, you're going to close 8 out of 10, then why wouldn't you want to just target that specific person, right? And here, let me play you a video that we use to show you an example of that, like this.
Situation, newer roof, no claims. Do yourself a favor and get a quick quote. It takes about 60 seconds to fill out. There's no obligation. Click the link below.
If you got a new roof in the last 10.
So that's the example of that, is meaning we are targeting people that are homeowners that has a new roof and that's never had a claim. So my guys are getting that lead. We are telling Facebook, this is who we're looking for. And we're also telling the lead, hey, if you're not this person, do not click on this and fill out your information. That way, my client is now getting those type of leads. And obviously, if he's the only one calling them and he's getting the exact lead that he wants in the right area, his conversion rate is going to go up regardless, right? So that's another big thing, is targeting your ideal client. Here's another one, is obviously calling within 5 minutes. Everybody knows how important speed to lead is. I can show you data. Our data shows if we call within 5 minutes, preferably within 1 minute, that our conversion rate goes up by 400 to 1,000%. Call them after 5 minutes and that drops 80%. So it's crucial that you get to the lead within 1 to 5 minutes. But here's the issue. When you're buying a lead, you don't know when they generated that lead. That lead could have been generated overnight or the day before. And now you're just calling them. You're thinking you called them within 5 minutes. You did call them within 5 minutes that you got the lead, but you don't know when they filled it out. Versus when you generate the lead, you know exactly when it came in, so you can call them right away. Or how we have it set up is automate the process where we're emailing them, we're texting them, we're also automating a call, and we're using a chatbot to hit them up right away. So you know when that lead came in, they are getting automated messages right away. So that's obviously going to help on the conversion. I'll show you how powerful the chatbot is. This was one of my clients, is when we first get the information, we are sending them a DM right on Facebook to gather the rest of the information. We're getting everything. And what we found out was that worked really well is we used to send them to a landing page, and we used to see a drop off after 4 or 5 questions because they didn't want to answer the questions. Whereas in the chatbot, they're more inclined to answer these questions when it's a back and forth communication, because they're thinking they're talking to someone. So they're willing to give up everything. And even like their driver's license number is what they put in here. So it works really well. Now, if someone sees your ad, right, watches the video, fills out the information, and then answers all of these questions in the chatbot, that is a pretty high intent lead, right? So the chatbot works really well. We also are obviously sending them automated text and email, and then a 7 to 14 day follow-up after that in order to exhaust the follow-up for that lead. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the people you don't sell to, right? We have an automation, right? You're not going to sell, I don't care if you're the greatest salesperson in the world, you're probably not going to sell more than 20, 30% of the leads that come in, right? Because of several reasons, your prices, timing, whatever. What do you do with those leads that you don't sell to? Well, we have an automation where we nurture that lead for 6 months, a year, and then that lead comes back into our pipeline in order to sell these people again. And then we're top of mind to these people because we've been nurturing them for 6 months to a year. And we're the only ones following up with them. Versus if you buy a lead, and let's just say you even have this automation, which most people don't. You buy a lead and you want to follow with them 6 months later. Well, guess what? 4 or 5 other people are following with them also because they've already been resold so many times. So hopefully you've seen that how important it is to spend time, spend some money in order to generate your own leads versus being a slave and continue to depend on these lead vendors where you're going to be paying a markup on these leads. Remember, their goal is to sell it to make a profit. In order for them to do that, they have to sell it to so many people. If you guys want us to set this up, set up the ads, set up the automations, set up the systems in order for you guys to generate your own leads, let us know. The process only takes 5 days, and if you don't use us, just please make it a mission for you guys to start generating your own leads.